All right, welcome back. Another episode of In the Green Bets. Went off a bit of a stinker, at least for me.
Terrible.
Just didn't hit on anybody. I mean, Reed was in theory, in the hunt on Saturday. He was never really there on Sunday. He didn't have to play that good on Sunday to do anything, but he just didn't have it. But I was kind of due for one of the shittier weeks. Grillo choke could have been a top 40. Gary Woodland bogeyed his last fucking hole. A, to miss the cut, and B, to tie Cam Tringali. So, you'll have that every now and then.
Yeah, I mean, I needed margin to hit to save me, and it didn't, unfortunately, after Scheffler. No, she didn't choke, but after the golf course just kind of got hardened up there at the end. Burns posted that score. Abe absolutely screwed me, just missing the cut. Yeah, just absolutely terrible. But my top 30s were pretty good. I think my matchups 1-1. So I was kind of a normal week. Margins were bad, and Abe, I kind of rested everything on Abe, and he lost. So, when that happens, you got to kind of take your losses and move on.
Yeah, I had Max for my one and done, it worked out fine. I only lost a few spots. He was playing really well on Thursday and Friday, but just kept making stupid mistakes. He finished, I think, bogey double on Thursday, and then Saturday's round he just didn't have it. He did play good Sunday to get I finished 23rd. So, for a one and done week, it's not too terrible. But some interesting one and done choices this week.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty good player. I would assume for both of us, we'll probably use somebody pretty good.
Yeah.
What about Burns though? Burns is kind of racking up a nice little
4 wins
for himself. Yeah,
4 wins in the last 2 seasons. That's very, very good.
Yeah.
I mean, him and Scheffler have 7 wins to combine this season, and they were the 2 in the playoffs. So, Burns is so weird because he could MC his next start. He's getting more consistent. His bad weeks, he just misses the cut.
Yeah.
But when he's on, he's so talented because he's hits it super far. He's a super good iron player, and he's one of the better putters of the good iron players on tour. He's not an elite iron player like JT or Zalatoris or Morikawa, but he's in the next group. But he also putts way better than those guys. So he's got the combination of skills to do this type of thing where he wins 2 or 3 times a year because he has figured out how to have peak when his game's rolling.
Yeah, he's got the tools, and he definitely fits as this modern power. When it strikes, It really strikes guy. And I'll be interested to see what they do with his numbers because he's the perfect outright guy where it doesn't matter if he plays bad, right? If you get second, the outright doesn't pay. It doesn't even matter. So, but every time you have him, you think at least he can win the tournament. So it's
and he's winning on
tough
hard golf courses.
Mm-hmm.
Valspar is tough. He won that twice, and this week was tough. He played fine. Obviously he played awesome. He won, but it was mostly today. He just shot 500 today on a super hard course and posted a number that the course really punished down the stretch, and then he stepped up and drained another bomb in a playoff.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what his numbers are, but there's gonna be some track. I assume we'll have him on our betting card for probably multiple seasons to come.
Another guy who the majors it hasn't happened for him. I think his best finish was last 2 weeks ago at PGA, and it was 25th or something, 21st. So that's kind of the next step for him. Obviously, 4 wins is a shitload. Same number of wins as Morikawa. Obviously, Scheffler more than a bunch of guys who are really good. So he's put himself in the top 10 in the world now too, which I kind of figured he was close anyways. But now he's up to 9th. It'll be interesting to see if he can pop in one of the majors or one of the bigger tournaments.
Yeah, I'll also be interested to see what he does FedEx wise. I mean, I know it doesn't get talked about a ton during the year, and we kind of only focus on it in those couple weeks that we get into those playoff events. But I mean, a lot of the years you get down in that top of that, those bottom guys are just the super elite guys. Like it just kind of happens based on when the events become more important and the money becomes,
you just get so many more points for wins
in reach. So I'll be interested to see like how he can he compete for a FedEx Cup?
It usually comes down to who wins one of those 3 events.
Yeah.
Like Cantlay last year, like obviously he had played good all season, but like then he won the first one. It's like, well, he's kind of in the driver's seat as long as he can hang on.
Right.
And so definitely though, I mean, he can win any tournament at this point. His skill set is top notch, particularly when it's rolling. No Laying Up guys had Scott Stallings on their podcast after the tournament. And he was talking about like his game, and they're like, well, what did you like? He's had a few good finishes this year, and they're like, well, what did you change? He's like, well, honestly, I needed to have way more variance. He's like, I didn't need to finish like 50th every week. I needed to finish 5th and miss 2 cuts in a row. Like not care that I needed to have higher peaks and valleys. And that's what Burns is. Burns' peaks are as high as anybody's pretty much. But he will fucking miss 3 cuts in a row. Like Rory and Rahm and JT, those guys don't miss that many cuts. Like he doesn't have the consistent level of play. Like he peaks as often as those guys, at least recently. Mm-hmm. So his game's different than, the super upper echelon, but his putter is the difference maker, man. He putts really well.
Yeah, he'll be one of those guys that will probably bet in majors as like as not a bomb, but like a guy farther back.
Prove it first to me.
And unfortunately, he won't win, but that's okay.
Yeah. Well, moving on, Memorial this week, big tournament, big purse, big players. It's an awesome course. Everybody loves the golf course. It's demanding off the tee. The fairways aren't super narrow, but they narrow where you hit your balls, and they're sloped, so balls bounce through the fairway into the rough. If it gets windy, we saw that 2 years ago. The wind blew like crazy in the first round, and it was just like you shoot 75. It's a pretty damn good score.
Hang on.
It's not supposed to be windy this week, so we probably won't see that. But it's a tough course. The greens are small. They're going to be firm. They're going to be hard to hold. And the rough's super long around the greens, which makes getting up and down pretty difficult. You take one look at like the last 5 leaderboards, and it's like, oh my God, it's just all guys who flush it and guys who chip it well, and putt. Now you don't have to like be amazing putter, but like you gotta get you gotta be able to manage when you fuck up. Guys who can scramble, guys who can chip, put themselves back in play. You see like the Reeds, the Lowrys, the Fitzpatricks, but then you also see Cantlay, Xander, Morikawa, all the ball striking dudes. So, the bombers have kind of succeeded to some degree, not like super bombers, but the longer of the good iron players.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you look at it visually in pictures, it's, it's all hilly and bumpy and tree lines and, bottlenecks there when it gets towards the green. Like it just kind of presents a difficult visual for people when they're hitting into greens for sure. And then the greens themselves are so firm that it's going to be hard to hold. So I put a lot of difficult scoring things in my model this week. I made some name list for myself, and I'll probably be going with guys who can definitely play well or at least okay in difficult conditions. And that usually ends up being all the guys who are super, super good.
Yeah. I mean, tough courses typically separate the haves from the have-nots. Now you'll get, all these guys are super talented, so you'll have 5 or 10 guys every week who just kind of, their A game shows up. But, listen, the last 4 winners, it was basically, Rahm, COVID thing last year, otherwise he would have won. But Cantlay and Morikawa won 2. Cantlay won twice, and Rahm won the year before that.
Yeah.
And Morikawa won the workday, whatever the fuck the tournament was during the COVID year. So it's like, now we've had some weird winners, McGirt and Duffner to some degree, but you got to hit your irons good. Those guys hit their irons awesome. So that's kind of the main focus. Are you a good iron player? Yes. And then for me, the next thing is, can you chip it and save strokes when you get out of position? And then lastly, can you hit it farther than most people?
Mm. Yeah, because I think that I don't remember. Was the driving distance way down here or no? I can't remember.
I don't believe so. I think it's favored Bombers in the past.
Favorite Bombers. Okay. Yeah, I think Finau was a name.
Because when the rough is that long, the shorter the club you can get in your hand when everybody's missing fairways, the better.
Right. Spieth also has had some finishes here. Iron player. He unfortunately didn't play well when I used him.
Chips his ass off.
Right, and then played well again last week. So I can't get him right for some reason. But he'll be another popular option and kind of fits the mold. So it'll be fun because I think my card's going to have. I think our card's going to be very similar in the fact that we're going to have a lot of ball strikers and guys who can get up and down. Pretty much in any kind of possibility, they can get creative.
Yeah, driving distance is down, but that has more to do with there are a number of holes out there that it makes sense to hit irons.
Right. Okay.
You'll see a bunch of irons off the tees this week. There's a handful of holes where it's like just hit it to the fat part of the fairway and play from there. But obviously, like we've talked about on this show before, some guys might have to hit 3-wood. If I can hit a 4-iron to get 250 yards, and somebody else has to hit 3-wood, that's an advantage for me.
Right.
And if we're playing from the same spot and I can hit a pitching wedge and they're hitting an 8, that's an advantage to me. So I still like the guys who hit it far, and obviously we've seen the kind of longer hitters do well here. But you still have to have your short game and your irons absolutely dialed. So let's look at some odds here and take a look. So DraftKings seems to have the best numbers from what I've found for the most part. Now, just on average, certain guys maybe you'll see different. I'm not touching Rahm or Cantlay or Rory, any of those numbers for sure. I mean, Rahm's obviously a big threat to win. Same with Cantlay. I know Cantlay hasn't been playing that good, and really neither has Rahm, which is it's a bit odd that they're at the top of the – it's not odd that they're at top. You pair their pedigree with their course history, it makes sense. But, like, other than Rahm's win in the shittiest field of the season, he has not been Jon Rahm.
Terrible.
And Cantlay has been fine. I mean, he won Zurich, but like, how much stock do you put in Zurich? So they both won shitty tournaments over the last couple months. But other than that, their form isn't that great. You've got Rory sitting behind him, whose form is excellent. Xander's been playing pretty good. And then Morikawa's form is just okay. So, like, these guys aren't rolling like, they have been in years past. Honestly, there's guys in the 30s that are, coming in with a little better form.
Yeah, I think this is favorable to outright betting this week. And as far as that, you're going to get some not amazing but decent value on guys who have not only the skill but also the momentum. A guy like Zalatoris, or we'll talk here into soon, has been playing unbelievable on these difficult courses. Has been ball striking his absolute ass off. Yeah. And the fact that he's priced so much lower, I get that he's never won. I get all that. I get that his putter, looks like he's trying to draw a Z on the putting green, but.
Yeah,
a guy like Jon Rahm has done nothing. I don't even think the Mexico thing was even anything. I don't even count that. What are you talking about? He
gained like 100 strokes off the tee that week.
He still played bad after that. So I don't really think that these are numbers that we should be betting, and we should be more so saying thank you to the books so that we can bet some of these guys down lower.
Yeah, like I said, not touching Rahm, Cantlay, Rory, not touching Xander. Although Xander has been excellent here. He doesn't win enough. If he was at 25, he may suck me back in for the 100th time at 25, but not for me. Morikawa is at 20 at one book. That may be where I start this week. I just value his iron play so much. Now, he kind of played like shit last week, but he's calling Morikawa on a course that rewards iron play over everything. Still gained 5.6 on approach last week. So, to me, you look at his stats here, his putter has been really bad, but he's putted well enough to win a tournament here and finish second, here as well. So I'll ride the 5.6 on approach last week and kind of hope that it means more at Memorial than it does, last week. That's kind of my thing. I'll take him at 20. He wins tournaments. Simple as that.
So I like Morikawa. Definitely. I mean, obviously his guy like him, when you add in the past history, it's like, come on, right? Yeah. So he's that same, like, it's actually kind of crazy that Cantlay's at 10 and he's at 20, like double. And they've had essentially the same, Like they were in a playoff in an event that neither of them would have even sniffed last year if Ron would have stayed in the field. So
yeah,
but yet Cantlay obviously he won the year before.
Morikawa lost the playoff to JT or beat the JT in that playoff the one time.
Right, and then Cantlay won after that. So it's like they're not that much different. And Morikawa's ball striking is unbelievable. So I don't really understand that. I agree completely. Bet that number instead. The only reason I'm not is because I'm going to follow you right behind you and bet Victor at 22. Victor at 22 is on Bet Rivers. Last 24 rounds, Victor's approach is number 2. So his approach is right there. His ball striking obviously is amazing. His around the green game is not elite. I understand that. But this could be a breakout win for him. This could be an event where we kind of start to see like, oh, Victor Hovland's here to play also, kind of joining that, right? Scheffler's breaking out. Hovland has those wins, but he doesn't have that win yet. He doesn't have like this type of win yet or this type of performance. I think it could come this week in this sort of event. He hasn't missed a cut since, probably
Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix, and he won Morikawa before that.
He went 4th, 2nd right after. I mean,
yeah.
Vic is really, really good. My only concern with Vic is his chipping so bad that he can't win. Greens and reg percentage is down here, so he's going to do less chipping than other people because his approach play is so good. But you still have to chip more than a normal week. That makes me a bit nervous. His putter hasn't been as bad as it was, say a year and a half ago. He gained strokes way more often than he did then. But I don't know. He's poised to just rip one of these big ones off. His major record's not very good either. So
I think the thing with his chipping is that I think it's in there. I don't think him being a consistently good chipper is in there, but I think he has spike potential. He hasn't been spiking at all recently. But I think with a guy like him, he can figure it out and he can win a big event. And I would like to be on the number when it finally happens. So then people go, oh, we know that he has the potential. And I'd like to have that ticket before everybody says that.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I'm going to be surprised if he wins. Definitely not. I mean, look at I just had the rest of his numbers up there. He's stellar across the board. If it wasn't for around the green, he'd be probably first in the mile.
Right.
But I know I'm getting a little bit more with Morikawa. I just trust Morikawa a bit more, but he's not that much of a better chipper than Hovland is, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
So
I'm not like super biased, but I like Hovland. I think a big win's coming, and I'd like to kind of join that number because I don't want to say, hey, I missed it because I didn't think he could chip well enough. Victor Hovland is unbelievable at golf. Like he can get and win an event. It's going to come. We've seen it. Look at Scheffler. I mean, come on. Is he going to rattle off that kind of win? No, but he's got that sort of talent in him.
Yeah, I think so. I think he could. I'm not going to be shocked if he wins at all. Lowry, I like Lowry, but I'm not betting him at 20. That dude doesn't win either. Spieth, I just don't trust Spieth right now.
I think Lowry was like second in my model, so he might be like a matchup guy.
Yeah, he was 4th in my model. I just win a tournament and then we'll talk. Kind of thing. With this many dudes in it, like
right.
I know he's been playing amazing golf. It's like nothing against him, but I'm not betting him at 20 when I can get these guys below him. I'd rather have.
Yeah.
Spieth's putter, I don't trust at all. I don't know if this is a Cam Smith course. Maybe it is. Maybe his iron play has improved enough.
Possibly could be where if he gets those good irons, this could be like a super Cam Smith.
He's first in approach over the last 24 rounds. I would not have guessed that. Jesus Christ, he gained on approach. Granted, he's only played 4 times since March. So you're looking at data that's going back 3.5 months. But what's his memorial record? Does he have any? He's probably only played here a couple times, right? No, he's played here a bunch of times. And he's not done well. 4 missed cuts and never better than 65th. I'll pass, mostly because of that. That's a stupid thing to pass on, but believe me, I played enough golf that if a course doesn't fit your eye, it just doesn't fit your eye. That could be the case. It could not be, but in 6 tries, he's never finished better than 65th. I'll let him show it to me once before. Decky, I'm thinking about Decky at 28. I've been betting him though, and it's costing me money. But he kind of showed me earlier at the beginning of this year into last year that like he can definitely rip off a few wins. He's won here before. He's been playing pretty good. I don't know if I'm going to bet him yet or not, but he's definitely on the short list. And then I skipped over Fitzpatrick. He's kind of in the same boat as Lowry for me. They're both awesome, but I don't know that they're going to win.
Yeah, Decky's just hard. I mean, it's hard to get that thought out of your mind that we keep hearing these things about him having injury issues.
Yes, that's the other thing.
And I just wish that he was coming in more like, well, right, like here a few, what was it, probably 6 to 8 months ago, whatever. He was like just rolling and rolling and rolling. Ball striking was unbelievable. He's finishing really high, and now it's kind of all tailed off. There's all these stuff about his injuries. We don't know this, we don't know that. He's got some shaky starts. I just don't think it's kind of the time that we should be betting Decky. Unfortunately, the value is a little higher, but that's kind of for a reason. I would much rather go right to the next guy at Willie Z, the non-winner. Winning at the difficult Memorial Course, tee to green on difficult scoring. Willie Z was on that short list of names. Ball striking last 24. He was he was second only behind Jon Rahm, and we're not betting Jon Rahm, so we'll take on Will Z. Shut your eyes when he has the shorties. Open your eyes when he has the lag putts, and hope to God that things get really difficult because that's when I think he has a better chance than other conditions.
This is what concerns me. I don't care that he sucks at putting, but if it's a bent thing, then that makes me a bit nervous.
Is he even good enough for it to be a bent thing, or is it just like?
It's just so random and randomly bad.
Don't even.
I'm probably gonna bet him. I think this is definitely a course that kind of fits his style of golf. And he is you're never due on the PGA Tour, but like he is due, man. He is so good, and he could have won a couple of these. He could have won a couple majors at this point. So I like him a lot this week. And then for me, Homa and Cam Young are the next two. I don't love betting Cam Young at 40, but I'm starting to like the idea of it because dude finishes in the top 5 pretty much every time he tees it up at this point.
All the time.
This course could not. I mean. To me, like I know like guys were trying to compare like who is Cam Young's like player archetype. And they're like, well, he's kind of a like Decky. Like his putter comes and goes, but everything else is so fucking good that on a week-to-week basis, he can just top 5 after top 5. And you may get frustrated with his putter sometimes, but like his ball striking is unbelievable. And his tee hit, he gained so much ground off the tee. He drives it like Jon Rahm and hits irons like a second tier guy.
Mm-hmm.
His putter is not, honestly, it's not horrible. It's just not good. But look at this. Second off the tee, top 20 approach around the green, first opportunities gained. He's unbelievable at everything. He's playing super, super good. I like that he took the week off last week. Bent's his worst surface, but whatever at this point. He doesn't putt as bad as Will Z. That's what I'll say. Like I don't know that Will Z's iron play obviously is better, but like I think Cam Young's game sets up to win more times than Zalatoris because his putter peaks more and he putts better, and like. Zalatoris putter hasn't like peaked to a win yet. You would have thought at some point he would run into a hot putter week and just wax everybody because his ball striking is so good. Whereas like Cam Young, he doesn't have to like hope to God his putter shows up. Like if you look here, it's like half and half. Whereas Will Z is mostly red, but Will Z is going to more consistently gain on approach.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think that's going to be I haven't looked into this, but just based off what that is right there.
Tracking those two going forward will be very interesting.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot more consistency in Willie Z's irons, clearly based on that right there. But with it being such early in Cam Young's career, he could easily just start being green a lot more consistently than what we've seen on this chart itself, just based on his age and
experience.
He's
basically the best driver of the golf ball, was not named Jon Rahm on the whole planet.
Right.
He hits it far. He hits it straight. He's in play. His proximity numbers are really good. His iron play numbers are good.
He hits a lot of wedges.
He cuts it. Yeah, I mean, my proximity numbers would be awesome too if I hit a bajillion wedges. So I just think that he is, and I talked about this before PGA, and I almost fucking got him on the out right there. I think he is significantly more talented than what people have been giving him credit. Now, he's made his name after the PGA. People are probably aware of him, but like, just because he's new doesn't mean he can't. Like, he's fucking awesome. Like, his tee to green stuff is super, super good, and his putter is good enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, we've been betting him for multiple weeks, so we're both on this. We've kind of like surpassed that. Oh, his derivatives are nice, and like, let's maybe hit like an outright. So we'll see if it happens. We'll see if it doesn't. But his ball striking is so good right now. He's playing so well, and I think that this track kind of sets up for someone like him to contend.
Definitely. And then for me, Homa is just has a good finish here last year. His ball striking has been super good lately.
Finally played well in the major, huh?
Finally played well in a major. Has some confidence. Coming off a win about a month ago or so. I just think that this is a nice course for him. To his putting not being that great won't matter quite as much. The rest of his game is really sharp right now. So. And then it kind of peters out for me. I don't really know that we're going to see an off the wall winner. This range has some interesting names in it, but there's really only one that I want to bet.
Yeah, I assume we're talking about Neiman.
Yeah.
What
and Neiman has absolutely been tough on us lately.
I know he hasn't been he's not been helping us out, but
Adam Scott has excellent course history here, but does not have a top 25 since Genesis. Missed the PGA, cut the PGA, lost strokes on approach both his last two starts. I will not be betting Adam Scott outright. He doesn't have the form. I'd rather bet Mito than him and just ride Mito's hot play at roughly the same number.
Yeah, I think the next names that I would get into are more so placings because I don't think any of these are going to really win.
I'm going to bet Reed at 65 unless I can find a better number. He's, like I was talking about last week, he's trending in the right direction. He's a guy who will just – when he gets around the hoop, he just wins. And he didn't last week, but I don't really hold that against him. That's the first time he's been close in a while. And he still finished like 4th or 5th or whatever it was. So I'm going to keep betting him at numbers above 40 as long as he keeps, showing us some stuff. And he's had success at this golf course. So I like that he gave up on the PXG bullshit and went back to clubs that actually work. And his finishes are starting to show it.
Yeah, if you like the feast or famine, Siwoo Kim there at 80 is something. His course history is really, really good. 2 top 20s in his last two in 2021 and 2020, with a top 30 and a roughly top 40 the 2 years before that. His form isn't great coming in, but he's a guy who can pop. He has that sort of talent and can really score. So he's a guy at 80. If you're looking at stuff down the board, him or Power at 60. Power 60 number is not very good, but I'll kind of get into that later because I think I'll be betting him maybe for a 20 or 30.
Yeah, to me, the rest of this board is you can write it off. Nobody's winning down here. Kuchar's been playing great golf. That ain't happening. Jason Day, this is his home course. That ain't happening. Abe can fuck off after last week. Bryson, I hope to God they give us a matchup with anybody who has a pulse. And then it's just like guys who can't win. So none of these guys can win. So let's move on to – we'll just hit some derivatives real quick because, I don't need to take forever because it's going to be the same guys we kind of talked about.
100%.
Cam Young plus 140, Homa, Neiman. Though I like those three. I like Pereira. He's obviously playing unbelievable.
Crazy.
He kind of made a run early on Sunday this week. He got into I think he got it to 8 or 9 under, which would have potentially got him in a playoff, but shot a couple over on the back like everyone else did. So, but man, he is really hitting his irons awesome right now. Davis Riley 2-1. He's got 4 straight top 10s. So You don't really even need to argue that.
Yeah.
You like Seamus Power there?
Yeah, he was difficult scoring on strokes gained par 4, which we talked about is just a very predictive. When it comes to like modeling, strokes gained par 4 is pretty much consistent with any like mixed model you're going to put together. Like it just kind of has a lot of overall performance built into it, just because how many par 4s there are on golf courses. So that's obvious. He was way up there on difficult scoring par 4s. He's on bent putting. His last finishes have been awesome. We saw him finish really, really good at the PGA, which is another good sign that he can kind of play when things get tough and with the big boys. I like his number at 2-1 for top 20. If you can find a close number at 30, I would take it. That's maybe more so I'll lean. I don't really know what it'll be. I haven't got it pulled up here, but if you could find it more so 170, I doubt it, but that would be great if you could find it closer to 2 for the 30.
Yeah, that would be nice.
163 is usually what they ask, like give those guys like that kind of range, but sometimes they bring down like 120 based on if somebody puts money on them. So we'll see.
Yeah. Let's see here. What was I going to say? Oh, Aaron Wise and Chris Kirk are two other guys that are both playing good golf. Both kind of do the things that we're talking about for this golf course. Plus 230, maybe able to even find a better number than that. Going down a little farther, probably talking in the 30s range here. Bond's played pretty good. He has had a good finish here.
Approach numbers have been crazy. We just looked him up. They're like 2.7, 3.3.
Yeah.
One was a 7 where he got second one year. One was like a 5.5. It's just irons, something here has helped him out. He's got a putting skill too, which is nice. So, here he has a chance if you want to bring that course history, back into him, play someone a little farther down the board. He could maybe be like a lineup guy if you're looking into that kind of stuff. Him and like a contrarian Cam Smith play, right, or something like that. I don't know how popular he'll be, but that sort of guy.
Lucas Herbert has a couple decent finishes in a row and had a top 20 here last year. Somebody to think about. Denny has been playing well, but this is not a Denny course.
No.
Scott Stallings has been playing. He got 4th last year. This course would make some sense for his game a bit. I don't mind that for maybe a top 30. Streelman's been awesome here, but his form is so shitty that I don't really think that it's enough for me to hop back in.
What do we think about Keegan Bradley? So I'm looking at his past history. He played this event a ton. He missed the cut in 21. He got 68th in 20, but he has 2 top 10s dating back to 15 and 16.
Yeah.
Also, his ball striking has been pretty damn good. 3 top 10s in his last 5 starts. So he could be another guy if putting doesn't matter that much. We both kind of hate Keegan Bradley, but he is the guy who kind of fits the mold. Alex Noren's another one of those guys.
Yeah, I don't mind Bradley. He did lose the top 20 for me at the PGA, but his ball striking is
it's been good.
pretty consistently good. Brennan Steele popped for a top 10 2 weeks ago. He's had bunch of 7 made cuts in a row at this tournament, so maybe he's like a into the lineup DFS type of guy, but also maybe a top 40. He's had 2 back-to-back top 40s at this tournament, and his kind of ball striking profile would make some sense for here. Pat Perez has never missed a cut here in like 9 starts. He's coming off a 12th place finish last week. That's kind of a see if he's actually playing good or if it was just a 1 week thing. Your guy Chad Ramey popped last week, 27th for him. But we're getting down into the shitty guys here.
These are more so if you can find matchups you like with names like that, because then you could maybe get lucky with the other side. If you only put their performance into it, like especially with a top 20 is hard. Like top 20 finishes are very hard when you look at leaderboards.
Yeah, these aren't 20 guys; these are 40 guys.
Even 30. Yeah, right. So we'll see. I'm more so moving on to matchups myself, probably, because if I do bet with something like that, it'd have to be more so maybe a fade or even something that I think is potentially priced wrong.
All right, let's look at some matchups then.
Brian Harmon just absolutely pooped the bed last week also.
Yeah, he was terrible.
Homa and Sungjae. Who would you take in that? Same price.
Probably Homa because he's been playing.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
Mito over Billy. I don't know what Billy's record is here, but I think it's actually decent. But Mito, he's playing so good. I think I'd take Mito in that.
Billy was for some reason high in my model. His putting seems like it's been very good, and his scrambling's been good. That's kind of with the whole putting deal. But he's not like a big game guy. So
he's top 20th in my model.
Zalatoris plus 100 over Decky. I like that. I know we both like Decky, but Zalatoris' ball striking in difficult courses has been so
his
good.
Back injury concerns. I mean,
right?
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
I'll probably have that on my card. I'm gonna write that down right now.
What are your thoughts on Cantlay plus 115 over Rahm? Rahm has not played very good. Now, I know Cantlay hasn't either, but I don't know. I mean, Cantlay's played awesome every time he's been here.
Look at Cantlay's finishes recently. He's a good bent putter too. Cantlay's like always pops in bench events.
Yeah,
for bent putting.
Cantlay has 4 top 7s at this event in his last 5 starts.
Last year, he just has not had a good 2022
since players basically.
Right, he was
good earlier
in the beginning. Right, he got second at Phoenix. That's kind of when his run ended, and then missed the cut at the Players. I don't know if that was due to weather, but I assume it was. And then
he is not a Florida guy. Go look at his career Florida stuff. Don't bet Cantlay in Florida, and he fucking lives in Florida. He's from California, but he lives in Florida now, and he's
too busy partying when he's there.
Go look at the last 2 or 3 years. He does not play Florida swing. Because he fucking sucks in Florida. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's a Bermuda thing, but fucking dude sucks in Florida.
His irons was pretty bad at the PGA. I'm not sure I would take it, but that's just –
I don't know either, but it's just –
Mom scares me no matter what. Mom scares me even if he's playing blindfolded. So we'll see what happens. Maybe he has a little vengeance in him. I don't know, but I'm definitely not betting him because every time I bet him, he doesn't finish very well. Unfortunately, that's just how it goes with John Rahm.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Power over Leishman minus 120. I like Power, but I don't like that because I think Leash has some good here. Yeah.
Yep, he's been good.
So if
Leash has not been good lately, though.
If I didn't convince you on Power, then you should take the other side and go Leishman plus money. That's pretty decent on the guy, Seamus Power, who – you only should be betting when he's playing well. If he's not playing well, you should never even look at him.
Yeah, his form is decent, but not great. But Leishman's isn't either. Leishman doesn't have a single top 30 since Genesis. That's a long time ago.
Cam Smith, Jordan Spieth.
Would you rather have Rory over Rahm plus money?
No.
I think you're right. I think I'd rather have Cantlay, but
although I get confused betting Rory. I don't even he's like one of the most confusing elite golfers that I've ever watched. It's almost like he has to convince himself that it's an important time to play well. I don't know. He just doesn't play well.
Yeah, but he hasn't done well in majors, so that doesn't make any sense.
I know. That's why I don't understand is because you hear him talk and he's like, this is all this is what he cares about. This is his thing, but then he doesn't do it. So then I don't know when to bet him and when not to. There's no formula for Rory. I don't know. I guess just courses.
There's no formula for Rory.
Courses where you can hit it a mile. That's it. That's when you.
Yeah, courses where driving is important.
Right. In the Abu Dhabi or whatever. That's where you're supposed to bet him. I don't know, but he's an inch. I don't really like betting him.
Zalatoris straight up against Neiman. I might bet that. I like Neiman, but Zalatoris' floor is way higher.
So the DraftKings one is Cam Young with Neiman. They're the same price. So that's another one, too, where I think the form matters a little more with Cam Young, no?
Definitely. Cam Young's form is unbelievable. Neiman's
right. I'm saying if you're going to take two guys who we think are pretty similar and just say, well, one has an advantage by having unbelievable form, let's just take the little juice and move on.
Yeah. I don't mind that. I'd probably rather have Zalatoris just for there's a little bit more data to go off of, but I don't know. It's kind of close. What about Cam Young over Sungjae?
So what's Sungjae's deal? He hasn't been playing well since we left Florida.
He had COVID, so he had to back out of Byron Nelson, and I don't think he played the PGA either. But I think he played. Yeah, 15th this week. Charles Schwab. I didn't realize he finished 15th.
He didn't even play that well.
He did not putt good. I don't know. Not going to bet that because
no, I don't think I'm betting it. Sungjae's weird too. I like betting him, but I don't know what to do right now.
Sungjae's super good.
Yeah, he's very, very, very good. I think my favorite one was Willie plus money over Decky, so that I'll give that as my best bet for sure.
Yeah, I still like Decky. Decky makes me a bit nervous, but Decky's back stuff.
So we could go head against each other. I won't do it because Colin Morikawa is one of the scariest golfers in the world to bet against, besides John Rahm. But him and Victor are the same price at 114 on River. So if you believe in the Morikawa experience, and you think that the chipping is so important that in Rahm or that the chances of Victor playing well are that much lower, you should take the Morikawa money there.
I don't think that chipping prevents him from playing well. I think it prevents him from winning.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
like I actually I'd be open to a Vic top 10 bet, but I just don't know that it might if watching him at the Players, it was like, dude, if you could fucking chip, you'd have won.
Yeah. Well,
there was 4 times where it was like, that's a simple fucking chip.
Yeah.
And then you chipped it in the water, or you just didn't get it on the green. And now it's in his fucking head. Now he thinks about it. You got 6 holes left, and he has a simple chip, and he fucking stubs it. You're going to be like, shoot my fucking face off.
Yeah, you have to hope in that situation, which I think what will happen is that his ball striking will be so good that confidence will roll over into his game.
Yes, you would hope so, yes. He's just rolling.
I'm absolutely going bonkers flag hunting right now, and then I'm just on a tear. I'm going to win this event. You just kind of hope that mental game takes over.
Seamus Power is a huge favorite against Leishman and FanDuel.
What's the number?
Minus 140.
Yeah, that was DraftKings was 120. So if you like that, head over to DraftKings instead.
Yeah. What about Ricky plus money over Russell Knox?
No, I'm not betting Ricky Fowler. No way.
He's actually been playing a couple okay rounds of golf, and then he's been super good here. But yeah, you should.
No way.
None of those matchups I'm in love with. My best bet would be a Cam Young top 20. I love this course sets up perfect for him. There's no reason he shouldn't play well. He's rolling. He's gonna. I know he'll be.
He should feel so comfortable with those clubs. You know what I mean? Like he just can play in those spots way safer with irons and ball striking up there. I agree.
He kind of. I know Mito choking was the story, but Cam Young kind of choked PGA.
Oh yeah, terrible.
He hit it in the bunker, so he made double on 16, and it was awful.
And
he was in the fairway, hit it in the bunker, fluffed it out, and then 3-putted it. If he'd just made a fucking par, he would have won.
I know.
He was one shot from the playoff, and he fucking doubled 16 from the fairway.
Unfortunately, that's the Victor thing too. Is he'll get in contention and then he'll hit some bullshit stuff.
Cam Young is not good out of bunkers. I watched every fucking minute of that round. That dude cannot hit out of a bunker. Now those bunkers were weird, but his bunker play on tour this year has been bad. So if he can avoid the bunkers this week, that'd be great.
I believe there's a bunch of them too.
Oh, there's a shitload of them. But hopefully his ball striking will be good enough to avoid it. But finals are set for NBA.
Hold on, margins first.
Oh, and one and done. Sorry.
Okay. Margins. We'll make this quick. I'm still going 1 and 2. I don't care
until I die.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yes, I'll take I got punched in the chin last week. All right, I got absolutely punched in the mouth. It wasn't great, but we're fine. We're gonna be fine.
2 weeks in a row where it did not look like there was going to be a playoff.
I know, it sucks.
Until all of a sudden it was fuck.
Until it was no one can make pars. It sucked.
Yeah.
But I'm going to stay on it. My one and done, I'm considering Scheffler. What are our thoughts there?
Scheffler's not in the field.
What?
Scott Scheffler's not playing.
Why do I have his name written down? Well, scratch that. No Scheffler.
For me, it's between Cantlay and Cam Young or Zalatoris. Probably Cantlay. So I'm looking at the list here, and I have Rahm, Cantlay, Morikawa, Spieth, Cam Smith, and Vic all left. I need to use that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys that I definitely need to use. But there's like 12 weeks left, 10 weeks left.
There is 11 weeks after this week.
So 12 weeks left, and those 6 guys for sure I'm going to use. And then I haven't used Scheffler, so there's 7. So I'm going to have to find a few oddballs, and we're going to have a few tournaments where probably like 1 or 2 tournaments where the field's not going to be great. So is the John Deere on that list? It's opposite Scottish, right?
No, Travelers, John Deere.
Oh, okay.
Open, Travelers, John Deere, Scottish, and then Open. So John Deere's 2 weeks before the Open?
It is now. It wasn't before.
Okay. So we might actually get a decent field there. Not decent, but should be better.
It won't be good, but maybe you get a couple of guys that show up that don't want to play Scottish.
Right.
I don't know where I'm going to use Spieth.
Maybe Cantlay's the play.
I think Cantlay, he's going to be super popular.
I have Xander.
Xander has 4 top 15s in a row here, something like that.
He's super good at this track.
I used him at Waste.
He's just not giving you a win. That's the problem. You're not winning.
He's probably not giving you a win. And winning is the name of the game.
And I need a win so bad. It's crazy.
I think I might do Zalatoris. I'll take I don't know. I don't think Cantlay's going to win this week.
I could double down with Hovland. I don't know what to do. Cantlay.
So, and Zalatoris is only 31% left, so he'll be a little bit lower owned. I think we're getting into that time of where a little bit of game theory comes in on some of that stuff, but especially now that I've half-ass got a chance, I still have Rahm and Morikawa. Rahm, I'm probably going to use at U.S. Open, assuming he shows me fucking anything the next couple weeks. And Morikawa will probably just be one of the playoff events or something later in the year. Although this maybe could be the week for Morikawa also.
Yeah, so we end the year with St. Jude and BMW, which I both believe are pretty big purses.
Yeah.
They're going to be pretty whoever wins.
I should say the purse on here.
If you have a win, or if you're in the contention, you win one of those last 2 events, you're going to have an opportunity to win the whole thing. So,
all right. So this is a $12 million purse. And then RBC is 8. I think US Open is 15. And then 8 for Traveler, 7 for John Deere, 8 for Genesis, or for Scottish Open. I think probably about 15 again for Open. And then 7 for 3M, 8 for Rocket Mortgage, 7 for Wyndham, and then 15 each for FedEx and BMW.
Yeah. So, double.
Yeah, I don't know what the winner's purse is, but either way, I'm going to say you need to have a couple horses for those 2 weeks.
Right. Yeah. If you're in contention, it's going to be hey, who can win one of the last 2 events, pretty much.
And honestly, I may even save Rahm for one of those and play Scheffler at the U.S. Open.
Where is the BMW at?
I don't know, because those all move. The playoff events move around.
Right, that's what I was wondering.
I'm going to pull up the schedule real quick. Here, I've got it. So FedEx is at TPC Southwind. That's JT's playground where he just fucking hits ironside everybody, which could be a potential Morikawa course. And then Wilmington Country Club, which I don't know that we have ever been to.
Yeah, so it's in Wilmington, Delaware.
Yeah, don't know that we've ever been there. 3M and Rocket Mortgage will be interesting. I hope Cam Young shows up to Rocket Mortgage, and because he'll just hit fucking nukes all over that place.
That'll be fun.
He should show up and win that.
His number will be terrible, but yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I don't know. I'm just saying for one and done.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I hope people blow their load on him this week, and then he fucking shows up to a shitty Rocket Mortgage Field and just hits nukes all over.
But if he's playing, like, I'll have to bet him just based on respect, and then it'll be like so low.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Scottish Open, that'll be interesting too, because I don't know how many guys we're going to get playing. I know it's a tour event now technically, but like you'll get a handful, but it'll be mostly Euro guys.
Yeah, it'll be fun because you can use a guy that you normally wouldn't. I think that'll be good that'll be good for my thing. Like you won't be using
Fitzpatrick.
Right, you can use some Euro guy who you don't bet over here, which is Fitzpatrick perfect because he'll never win over here. So
didn't he lose that playoff last year at Scottish to like Min Woo Lee or whoever the hell that was?
I don't know. That sounds right, but I don't know.
I don't know either. Either way, I'm probably going to go Zalatoris this week.
I'm thinking Cantlay.
With the possibility for Cantlay.
I was like set on Scotty Scheffler playing and being my one and done because I thought he was going to win, but
I think Scheffler's going to be my U.S. Open one and done.
That'd be a good one.
Everybody's going to pretty much have used him by then. He's obviously still playing fucking great golf, and John Rahm hasn't showed me enough. Unless Rahm pops, like I was saying, unless he kind of starts to show some form, I've kind of been saving him, for the U.S. Open. But if he's going to be playing like shit, there's not really any reason. Min Woo Lee beat Thomas Dietrich and Matt Fitzpatrick in the playoff.
Yeah, Dietrich. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I forgot all about Dietrich. That was awesome. That was a fun event. I want to use Victor Hovland for the U.S. Open, but I'd like to see some life out of him this week. We'll see because his Vic winning a major is not quite the narrative that's going to come to life right now.
He doesn't have a top 15 at a major.
I know it's not good. But I'll probably get talked into somebody more like. Although don't you have Rahm 2 majors? No, I used Rahm with the Players.
What would you have? You would have asked, is Scheffler going to win 4 times in 7 weeks? You would have said, hell no.
He was in a playoff last week. So
he could have won last week. He should have won last week. He should not have been in that playoff.
You're right.
I don't know. It's getting to kind of nut crunch time. I have to hit 2 more winners to have a chance.
We got a comment. You think this guy Diggs has a bet for us?
This was an hour ago, a half hour ago. I saw the comment. Diggs, I apologize for not bringing it up earlier, but I was losing my train of thought.
We'll see if he answers.
No F1 this week. They're off to Azerbaijan next week.
Could have hit Sergio.
This is maybe bad opinion. Monaco sucks. The idea of Monaco, all the flair, awesome. Qualifying, great. Monaco sucks. It's boring.
Yeah, so I was listening to, and I think this is pretty widespread knowledge and thought.
I mean, people agree with that, but it's like
it seems as if the cars are too big now. Like the cars are just too big and powerful, and you can't really do anything besides just ride behind the guy in front of you. Like it
was fucking pouring rain, and Gasly was running so much faster than Zoe. He couldn't pass him. He literally couldn't. It took him like 7 laps.
Yeah,
it was like the most fucking boring thing of all time. The 4 guys, once they got settled on like pit strategy, it was like, yeah, we're just gonna run in circles until this is over, unless somebody wrecks.
I think this. Yeah, I mean, it's such a spectacle. Obviously, like to us, it doesn't matter.
If that race was anywhere else on Earth, they wouldn't fucking re-up that in a minute.
No, they wouldn't. So I don't know. Yeah. I wouldn't be mad if it went somewhere else. Although we're getting a new street track in Vegas next year.
They should replace it with Vegas. That's what they should do. But they're not set on a number of races. They could do 18 one year and 25 the next. Right. It doesn't matter to them. So, and they settled on 22 this year. I saw. So,
yeah, they lost 1, I believe, off the schedule.
Yeah. Well, Russia.
Russia. There you go. So I don't really think it should necessarily be on there anymore. But the spectacle of it is just so big that maybe they'll pay some money or agree for some reason to do it. If they did it every other year, or if it was like something that came every once in a while.
They need to have I don't know. They need to make it like something special, something different, not just a regular race. And I don't mean like make it more important. I mean like do something weird with it.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if it was like, hey, like we do it every once in a while, and it just kind of came up like, hey, we're going back to Monaco this year. Like that's something to watch.
Yeah.
Or that's the last race in Monaco for 5 years. Like that'll be whatever. But
qualifying is the race.
Well,
we're gonna make qualifying double as long, and it's gonna be the fucking race. And just see how hard guys push their fucking nuts off in qualifying.
Right, that would be kind of fun.
Because the whole point of the qualifying is the best part of Monaco at this point.
Right.
Although Leclerc was fast as balls, and then the rain hit, and his team fucked him on strategy, and then all of a sudden he finished fourth.
Yeah, that was terrible. But
something weird.
We were talking last week, and I think that the win is helping my argument that Red Bull winning the constructors is like an easy money bet.
Yeah, you're probably right. Also, I looked at points today. Sergio, they can't do the let Max pass anymore because he is like a win away from being first in points.
Oh, yeah, but they're not going to try. The last thing they want is Max pissed off.
Yeah, but they can't do it. He's too close now.
I think they would just.
I think if he's
they got to try to go for the 1-2.
Yes,
they got to try to go for the 1-2.
If he's faster, yes, but Sergio's going to say, "Fuck." Sergio could win the title. He is like 6 behind Leclerc and like 20 behind Verstappen. He is a Verstappen DNF and him winning away from like being tied for first. I think.
Right, I agree.
If I was Sergio, I'd be like, "You guys can fuck right off." He just signed an extension too. Did you see that? Did you see his comment to Horner?
No, what
they were walking off the podium and Horner like smacked him on the back. He's like, "I guess I signed too soon."
Ooh, ouch.
Should have got some more money out of him.
Yeah,
if he was going to win.
Having Max and not letting him win is like having LeBron and like doing something that like you're playing somebody over LeBron, right? Like I get it.
In theory,
at the same time, their number one priority is to keep Max happy for the future of their team. That's the number one priority.
Yes, I agree with you. But like, if it's not going to hurt Max,
right,
or hurt their team, they will let them race. I think from going on.
If they can somehow navigate, like, hey, Max is going to win the championship, and we're going to like possibly scare a 1-2 finish from the Drivers' Cup, like that's where they probably should be at, like headspace wise.
Yeah, they need some more. They need the luck. They've had some decent luck the last few weeks with Leclerc stuff, so they need that.
Hey, I said to bet Max last week. Unfortunately, I was wrong, but I was like half-ass right that you should just say screw the Charles number because they end up fucking things up, and they did end up fucking things up, and Red Bull won.
And I said to bet Max for the title at -175.
Yeah, you should definitely do that.
I still think it's like a good bet, but
100%.
All right.
Hold on. Finals pick, real quick.
It's so tough. I'm gonna take Warriors as well. I think it's Warriors in 7, and I think you see the Celtics like seize up like they always do at the end of the fourth quarter, like at least twice the series, one of which being Game 7. I think the Celtics potentially are better than them, but like I have no faith at all that Celtics can close a fucking game. They can't close it out. They cannot close the game off. And the Warriors are way better than the Heat. The Heat played without Tyler Hero for like 5 or 6 games.
Yeah.
And Lowry was basically a no-show, and they barely fucking won. They couldn't close out multiple of those games. Steph and Clay and Draymond will dagger your ass in the fourth quarter.
I think Draymond has a big series. I potentially would think he could get like a Finals MVP series. He probably won't just because Steph will end up getting it. But the Celtics are bullyable. What do you call it?
Mentally bullyable.
Yeah. And Draymond will eat them alive if he thinks like, hey, I can take advantage of these dudes.
If he sees the opening of that, yeah.
Right. And I think that's what could happen. Miami kind of cracked the code, but they couldn't. Like they weren't as talented. They weren't talented enough to do it.
Yeah.
But they were tough enough to do it. I think the Warriors have a really good mix of both of those things. And Draymond's going to play a big role in just being like, hey, I'm alpha. We have the best player in the series by a fucking margin. And Steph's going to go bonkers, and we're just going to bully you, and you have nothing. There's nothing you can do about it. They're going to turn this into a "you guys are glad to be here" type of series.
I think the Celtics match up really, really well, but the Warriors aren't going to do. they're going to do less dumb stuff. And they're going to do more smart stuff. Like, they're going to have answers to some of the Celtics shit. They're going to have answers. Also, I thought, like, Curry had been terrible against the Celtics, and he had. But since Avery Bradley was gone, he's basically been normal. Same Steph Curry. Like, Avery Bradley was the Steph stopper, not Marcus Smart. Which is crazy to say, but, like, the stats prove that out.
I'll be interested to see how Poole does. This will be a big moment for him if he can kind of keep his head calm and play – although him playing calm is not his game. He plays.
Tatum's going to, like, fuck him up so bad on defense.
Yeah, the problem is he's going to get absolutely annihilated on defense.
But if he makes threes, he gets to play.
Right. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Like Robert Williams' health, that's going to definitely play into this series. If Looney has to be out there the whole time, if he's good.
The Celtics bench is an issue because if Marcus is, like, banged up at all and Pritchard has to play or Derek White has to play, like, Steph will fucking ruin them. He will put them in pick and roll after pick and roll with Draymond and just rain threes on their head. I think the Warriors win, but I think it's super close. And I think you see, like, at least one Celtics fourth quarter where it's just like they forget what they're doing. Because that's kind of their thing.
I'm with you on Celtics. I think Steph has this, like, hey, if I win this, I mean, that's like
I can fuck off forever.
Yeah, this is just the one of the last stamps of, like, hey, I'm one of the best players to ever play this game. I have absolutely transformed the entire sport of basketball. And the fact that I won this championship after all the questions that people say about, oh, who am I, blah, blah, blah. I get that he can just shoot, but what's his, like, real talent? Dude, come on. If he wins this, it's
Warriors have, like, sneaky, not a lot to prove, but, like, they, like, want this bad. They want to, like, we don't have Durant anymore, and Clay's coming off 2 injuries, and you guys were pouring dirt on our fucking graves.
Right.
Watch this.
We never made the trade. Everybody, asked us what we were going to do. We got these young guys, and we kind of made them serviceable. We made Jordan Poole unbelievable.
Made Wiggins like an important finals player.
Yeah, we'll see how good he is in this series, but I have a feeling Wiggins is not going to be very good, just based on
I think he'll be good
in Celtics, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm on the Warriors. I'm with you.
If he's not good, they don't have a chance.
Really?
Like, their chances go down. He's got to help. He's got to score.
Well, help, yeah, but I'm not saying he's not going to be, like, great. That's what I'm thinking.
He's averaging like 22 a game in the playoffs.
It's a lot.
All right. Well,
hold on.
Our cards will be out.
We got to wait 5 seconds. I'm watching the TV. Golf Channel breaking news: Live Golf Invitational field list released.
I'm going to see if I can guess the. Can I guess? Try to guess.
I don't have it. It just doesn't. It doesn't have the list pulled up. Hold on. See if you. Who do you think would have it? Maybe Fowler.
Dan Rappaport probably would have it.
Right here it is.
Can I guess?
Oh my God.
Can I guess the list?
Can you?
How many guys are on it?
Try to guess the best player.
The best player.
There's probably like 60. I don't know. There's maybe
48, right? There should be 48.
Yeah, maybe 48.
So it's like Sergio, Justin Rose, Louis, Adam Scott. Are all those guys on there? Westwood, Paul Casey,
Sergio, Taylor Gooch is right underneath him, and the one is that's crazy is Dustin Johnson.
He's on there?
Dustin Johnson is on the list.
What?
Yeah.
No Laying Up guys floated out that they had heard he got offered $150 million.
Holy moly.
So maybe that offer came in and he's like, yeah, fuck it.
Outside of him,
DJ was the only like super top guy that it was even, I think, even in my mind.
Yeah, there's not really many other names. Westwood, like we already knew. Hudson Swafford, Poulter.
Any other American guys?
No, I'm trying to look right now. Andy Ogletree, Kevin Na, Louis Graham McDowell.
What about James Piot? He's the fucking AM guy. Supposedly he got offered like $200,000 a tournament.
Yes, he's on there. James Piot, amateur. Yes, Burned is on here. Peter Uline.
Dick Bland. Dick Bland's on there.
Yeah, Dick Bland's on here. Wow, Taylor Gooch and DJ. Yeah, that's crazy.
I kind of thought DJ had moved on, but $150 million. I don't know. That's a lot of fucking cash. Gooch surprises me. But like, when Gucci's probably not winning a bunch of tournaments on PGA Tour, so just fucking go over there and make your money, move on.
Right.
No coke rack, but supposedly he has a wedding that weekend. That's why he's not on the list for London.
That isn't like his own wedding.
I don't know if it's his own wedding.
If it's not his own wedding, that doesn't make any sense at all. Because if that paycheck's that big, why would you go to a wedding over that?
Well, the paycheck's not that big for everybody.
I'm sure
some guys are getting money up front, but it's mostly just like the purse.
Right.
Like you get like $3 million if you win.
I can't
48 dudes.
I can't wait for
DJ's gonna fucking make oodles of money.
Oh, I can't
Maybe
wait.
He realizes like I'm like old. I'm not that good anymore. I'll just like go do this.
So he's gonna be.
It's kind of surprising.
He's gonna be favored so much and get the upfront money. Like it's gonna be like he's gonna get the purse.
He's gonna get like $100 million up front if he commits to all the tournaments, and then fucking win all these tournaments. I don't know. These guys, that field kind of sucks.
Oh yeah, it's really bad.
Maybe Paul Casey can actually get a win in that field.
Well, Paul Casey's not on the feet in the field.
No.
Oliver Decker or Becker, whoever that is.
Supposedly, there's a couple of college. Should be a couple of college guys on there. Supposedly.
Yeah, the NCAA guy is the USAM champion,
James Piot.
Turk Pettit, the Division I men's champion in 2021, is on here.
Let's see if there's anybody else on here that's
Louis Ogletree. He'll be one.
Yeah, Ogletree. He came out on tour and couldn't do it. Chase Koepka.
Yeah, he ain't no good though.
Matt Jones.
Yeah, I said him.
Oh, I missed him. Sam Horsfield, Justin Harding, guys who went over there on the Euro Tour. Brandon Grace.
I want to hear a DJ press conference right now.
So it's like a 4. I think there's 4 team captains or 12 team. I don't know how it works. I don't know what the teams are, but I think it's like 4 team captains, 12 person per team.
Clue.
So DJ's gonna be a team captain. He's gonna have to pick between all these guys he's never heard of. Like, you think he's heard of Junichiro Kozuma or Jedediah Morgan?
No.
Fuck no. Turk Pettit? He hasn't heard of these dudes. He hasn't heard of half these dudes.
I think there's an Illinois event. I think there's a Chicago event too. We should try to go to one.
Potentially Rich Harvest Farms, but I don't know that it's actually going to be there.
Oh, really?
Right? I think it was on the maybe list, right?
I thought it was like Cog Hill or something, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think Rich Harvest Farms.
No.
I'm going to look at it real quick.
Although the tickets will be crazy if they have to pay DJ $150 million. I'm going to be paying for DJ's money.
Yeah, Rich Harvest Farm, September 16th through the 18th.
Oh, interesting.
We should go if DJ's in the field. The other thing that the only other issue is if DJ's in the field, that potentially opens up other guys to consider it. Like Bryson is probably considering it now. No Phil. Didn't forget about that.
Is he going to retire and go to TV, or what's he going to do?
No, he's going to play these. He's just not playing the first one, I guess.
Yeah, he's just waiting for it to calm down. Yeah, this will be interesting to see how they react. I mean, what if DJ wins the first event and everybody goes like, wait, why? DJ
Here's the thing.
Much money.
This means DJ's done on tour. The tour is going to ban his ass tomorrow. For
the rest of the season, or no?
No, ban. They said bans. They're going to ban all these guys.
I mean, DJ is not going to be banned for life on the PGA Tour.
100%. He'll be able to play the majors, but he won't be able to play the PGA Tour.
Right, the PGA Tour. If that's true, that's wild. That's wild.
That's what's been the whole thing, is that they're going to ban him.
I thought it was going to be like, isn't it going to be a lifetime ban, is it?
That's what Monahan said.
Interesting.
You're banned. You go play this tour, you're banned.
Wow.
That's what the DJ thing is
wild
crazy.
If we never see DJ in another PGA Tour event. That would be insane.
Well, now it's just going to get litigated. It's all antitrust bullshit, anti-competitive stuff. So that will be interesting. This is going to be like televised like on fucking YouTube or like what? They don't even have a TV. They don't even have like a broadcast sponsor yet.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a stream for sure. DJ's got to pay for that Paulina wedding. So he's got to...
His father-in-law is richer than he is by about 10x probably.
Not anymore.
Interesting. DJ's manager. Dustin has been contemplating the opportunity off and on for the past couple of years. Ultimately, he decided it was in his and his family's best interest to pursue it. AKA, they wrote a fat fucking check. Dustin has never had any issue with the PGA Tour and is grateful for all it's given him, but in the end, felt this was too compelling to pass it up.
So that's kind of
AKA, big fat check. He basically is like, yeah, if they're going to ban me, like that's kind of part of this thing.
Interesting. Huh.
We didn't like lose. To me, at least it's like 38-year-old DJ, not 28-year-old DJ.
Yeah, but what about some of these...
This isn't going to change the tour that much. Like you lose Sergio, Gooch, DJ, and a few older guys who pop up here and there. Louis, Schwartz, all Swafford. Like,
what about some of these young guys? How's that work? Are they going to get banned?
Yes.
Even if they're not even card holders?
The tour stance is that any tour that's competing with them on U.S. soil, you will be banned from the PGA Tour. If you compete with another tour on U.S. soil.
Where is this event at?
This is in London, but they're going to have the next one's in Oregon.
But could you potentially not play on U.S. soil?
It doesn't. The tour is going to compete. Like if you're playing on the tour.
If you're a tour, yeah, right. The tour is here, so
I think that's their position. Now this is all super illegal bullshitty, so
right,
will be interesting. The career highlights. I love that. Some of these are pretty funny. Youngest to win an OWGR event. Okay. Former Asian Tour Order of Merit winner. Who the fuck? Order of Merit leader, not winner, leader. He led it at one point.
I hope we get some odds so that we can like throw like big bombs every once in a while and just hit one. That'd be fun.
Yeah, like Burns gonna fucking like clean up over there. All right. Well, we've been going forever, so
yeah.
Our cards will be out. Good luck this week, and we got U.S. Open in 2 weeks, so another big one coming up.
I think you and I are potentially going to go to John Deere, so we have a live. We're going to have hopefully we're going to send out some coverage from the course.
Yeah.
In the Quad City, so that'll be fun if we potentially do that. It's on the penciled in right now.
What's that? That's
the weekend before July 4th.
Oh yeah. So like a month from this weekend.
Right.
Yeah, that'll be fun. So, all right.